Hi, my name's Gonzo, aka Ganinzo, aka Kismeteer. This is talking about Trading 101. The advantage of Trading 101 is that you can go ahead and make money by just planning ahead, doing math, and it makes it very much easier to go ahead and get support. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the essentials of what the basics here. This is going to be in Horde space. Realize that we are going to go ahead and have to go ahead and move around a little bit here. We are right now out in MJ5. We are going to be sending our destination to Paula. Paula is a system that is not that far away from MJ5. It is 6 jumps as long as you have this include jump gates and route option. There is a hostile fleet there. We are going to be going in a shuttle. The shuttle allows us to bypass bubbles. The reason we're going in a shuttle is we want to go ahead and make our lives easier, to go ahead and move around easily. It bypasses bubbles, so it's hard to get caught. They can smart bomb it. We do have live intel going on right here, so you can kind of see what's going on. If anyone has questions or if I talk too fast, I apologize. I'm a very fast talker. But we're going to go ahead and basically try to figure, we're going to import a couple ships here. I would like to go ahead and build a couple ships as well. And we're also going to go ahead and figure out where we can make money as well. Let's go ahead and get started. I have some of these concepts loaded on a page here, which I'm going to link now. And it's on the wckg.net page. I'll go ahead and link this in Fleet. And I'll put this in Fleet as well, but not that anyone actually joined Fleet, because everyone is just going to passively watch. The reality is that I'm not currently using EVE Online Preview. EVE Online Preview allows you to go ahead and share the same screen for the same content, or 2 different clients. 2 different clients makes it easier to go ahead and do that. You see this Shikubi right here? That's Mr. V right here. So we're going to report him. Hi, Mr. B. Good to see you. So he most likely is going to be sending his fleet here. So if we were going to be trying to catch him right now, they're going to be going into GFK, most likely. The reason we're going to Paula is because it is in a region called the Forge. The Forge basically is the largest trading window, trading group in EVE. We have a lot of trading happening in MJ5 as well. If we go ahead and open up like our quick bar here, you can see that we do have quite a bit of trades here. And you can see that, there's about $1.5 billion worth of trit on the market right now, or $1.5 billion of trit. So that's worth probably 12 trill or something like that. And those are just trying to go ahead and set a baseline, it looks like. So we do kind of have like a set price of 468 for trit there. Realize that we can also go ahead and look in Janus. We can see like how much is 100 trit right now in Jita. Janus is a tool that allows you to go ahead and quickly go ahead and pull statistics. And you can see currently, well, I have to actually spell it out. That's embarrassing. See if I spelled that correctly. Okay, cool. So it looks like the average of trit right now in Jita is selling for 428 and buying for 410. You can see that the reason I brought the shuttle right now, I didn't actually have to worry about bubbles at all. So doing pretty good. We've went ahead and made it to Paula. We are now leaving Ethereum Reach and entered the Forge. We are going to go ahead and dock up. We can use a Jita alt. My Jita alt is actually on my same main, so I'm not going to be using that. But we're going to go ahead and just dock up here. And from here, we can go ahead and see the Jita market. If we go ahead and pull up the regional market here, we're going to go ahead and look at that titanium price right now. And you can see right now that it's actually trending a little bit lower. Realize that because I am operating remotely, it's a little bit harder to see. Realize you have to watch for Jita 44 or there's another 44 you have to watch for. So it does get a little harder. I have to burn another 15 jumps to go here. I do have a war deck because I am part of Pandemic Horde. You can see your war decks right up here. The war decks basically tell you if it's safe to go ahead and fly in nullsec, in highsec. But generally, if you're a nullsecker, you want to go ahead and stay in nullsec and just occasionally go back, drift back. So we're going to go ahead and start with the basics of shipping. Hopefully everybody knows this. I will go ahead and I have like kind of a quick version of this that I go ahead and paste constantly. I put it in a previous post here. I'm going to go ahead and paste that into Twitch right now. Basically, it says that you don't need to ever go ahead and ship your stuff yourself. You're going to go ahead and more likely to go ahead and lose something. And there's a lot of there's a lot of shipping services you can use. I have a shipping breakdown of some of the shippers. These are a little bit dated at this point, but does list all the shippers, their costs, and how much M3 they do. This is very specific to Horde, and you can go ahead and find some other shippers here. I went ahead and put all of them here. In this case, we have all of our buyback services and shipping services. I recommend the shipping services. This can get a little overwhelming, but if you get down to freight and shipping, you know, you have multi-lem, and they have calculators. So we can go ahead and use multi-lem. I like using Dark Horse personally right now. And then we can also go ahead and use Bean Freight. Bean Freight right now is really cheap. So, and we'll go ahead and have all of these open, and you can kind of see the response times you can get. So let's go ahead and start with the very basics. What I'd like to go ahead and import is I'm going to bring in more heiresses. Right now I am currently in the wrong station, of course, because I am in one of the building stations because I was preparing some things for this. Again, if you have questions, you can ask in Fleet, you can join comms, you can go ahead and just talk to me in Twitch chat. I should be hopefully responding to everything, and I will be watching Newbeans as well. And realize that when we're moving between stations doing shipping stuff, we want to make sure to be using bookmarks. So we're going to be using bookmarks all along here. So I'll change that to broadcast history. It's a good idea. We're also changed to a PvP tab, and we'll go ahead and dock up here. I actually have a bunch of stuff I needed to get rid of. I somehow put a whole bunch of extra stuff in my areas here. So it starts with, basically, we have a fit that we want to bring in. This is the simplest thing that everyone in nullsec has to do. So we're going to go ahead and start with, we have a fit. I have a personal channel that kind of has everything in here. And then I have a fit in here called RSV fit. This is the one I'm going to be using. And I'm going to go ahead and do what's called multi-fit. It's an option after you've created a fitted. You can go ahead and do multi-fit, and it will figure out how many do you have. So right now I have 5. I want to go ahead and bring in 4 more. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and change this to 10 because I have 6 already. And then I'm going to buy all the components here. The advantage of doing the buy here, let me go ahead and open up a new notepad. Give me a second here. We're going to go ahead and buy a new notepad here. We're going to go ahead and, do multi-fit. Let me find it again. Where's multi-fit? There it goes. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and buy. We're not actually going to buy everything here. We're actually going to buy everything in Jita, and we're going to go ahead and ship it. The advantage of buy all or multi-fit like this is that you can go ahead and plan ahead with how much you're going to need. I'm going to give myself an extra chunk of Caldarian Animator. I tend to use a lot of this, and I am going to go ahead and bring in, I'm going to keep that the same. I think I should be fine with that. So if you look at this, this is going to cost me 308 mil here. You have the option to export this thing. So we can go ahead and copy this order to the clipboard. We're going to go to a blank notepad. We're going to paste this in. Okay. The disadvantage of doing this is that if you're going to be doing 2 at the same time, you can see sometimes kind of challenging. It can be kind of challenging if you're doing multi-ships, so it's usually better to go ahead and do 1 at a time and just go ahead and ship them in 1 at a time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to go ahead and log into our Jita alt. In this case, I just have flown him over into, I flow him over into the Forge. We're going to go ahead and do multi-buy, and I don't think I have the range, actually, I just realized. I didn't actually train the range on this thing. So we're going to go ahead and log into our main here. We didn't actually have anybody join, I don't think. Let's see if anyone joined. No, they didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and pass myself boss, I guess, and join that. Go to Kismet here. Join. Oops. We're going to go ahead and pass boss to myself, which is my alt. We're going to go ahead and make boss. This is going to go ahead and change that. So we're going to go ahead and log off our main. We have recorded what we want to buy, and we'll log on our Jita alt. The advantage of having a Jita alt is that they always live in Jita. They don't need to move. So they just go ahead and live in Jita, and all they do is buy stuff for you. And they ship it to, basically they ship it to you. Once we've logged in, we're gonna go ahead and pull up our notepad. This is our list of stuff. Realize that we're including the total there as well. And we're gonna go ahead and do a multi-buy on here. And there's an option in here to multi-buy. You can also open it directly from there. So we're gonna, in the upper left-hand corner, we're gonna add all the market to clipboard. We can then go ahead and compare apples to apples on how much everything cost. The advantage of doing this is that you can get a feeling for which one is cheaper out in MJ5. You can see that almost everything is going to be cheaper here in Jita. That's how it should be. There's sometimes exceptions like antimatter, sometimes can be cheaper. This is fine, 650, yeah. So all of these are gonna be cheaper out in Jita other than the Eris. The Eris looks like they're cheaper in MJ5. So we're not gonna go ahead and buy any Erises now. We're gonna go ahead and buy those out in MJ5. But the good news is I actually already bought those things. So you can see that we already saved ourselves 11 mil right here. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and you can see the total here. This is 309, 308. This is 309. It's more expensive because the Erises. So we're just gonna go ahead and drop out those Erises. The good news is I already actually have a solution to this problem. I actually bought a bunch of Erises already. We can also go ahead and go into our containers here. You might have a whole bunch of loot that you've shipped yourself. And you can go ahead and go through there and see if you have anything that you could ship up to yourself to go ahead and save yourself some money here. And then I have everything broken down into the normal items, and then I have everything sorted into ammo here. So it just makes my life easier. And we'll go ahead and trade some stuff as well here eventually. So we're going to go ahead and buy those items right now. It might, if you've been sitting it for a while, it might go ahead and take some time. We actually have some Erises we bought already because I do go through a lot of these. And I'm going to go ahead and split those out right now. And we're going to go ahead and do shift click. You click the first one and you shift click the last one. We're going to go ahead and create a contract. What we're going to do is we're going to send it to ourself first. The reason you send it to yourself first and you have your Jita empty because then it comes from you and not from some random alt. So you want to make sure that you're trading it or contracting it from your main. You zero price, and then boom, you've set up this contract. This costs you 10,000 ISK. Not expensive whatsoever. So we'll then go ahead and log off. The reason you put your Jita alt on your main is because if you have Omega on your main, you can then go ahead and use your Jita alt with accounting 5. Accounting 5 is what makes these things cheap. There's a possibility I could save some money by doing buy orders for some of this stuff. I don't generally bother with it. Buy orders you have to kind of keep track of, and it's pretty easy to go ahead and manipulate the market a little bit to go ahead and get a better buy order. We have this appearing in your notifications. We're going to go ahead and accept this. Realize if you accept a contract and don't have your asset window open, it will be populated immediately. If you have this open and you accept a contract, you will have to go ahead and do a session change. We're then going to go ahead and ship this stuff. We're going to shift click the first one, shift click the last one, and we're going to go ahead and go to our calculators here. In this case, I'm going from Jita to MJ5. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the values in here into all of these, and we'll go ahead and get some pricing. We're going to go ahead and start in Jita. We're going to go ahead and ship to MJ5 here, and we're going to go ahead and hit submit. So this one's going to cost me 9 million ISK. This one's going to cost me 10 million ISK. And this one right here is going to go ahead and cost me 11 million ISK. So all of these are clickable. So I can copy this to clipboard. If you click on any of these, they're copyable to clipboard. They have this feature as well. And then under this one, I don't think they have this one. So you have to manually type some of this stuff. Bean Freight does take a little bit more to do, but it's something they could fix if they wanted to. But anyway, we're going to be using Dark Horse. They are my personal favorite. So we're going to right click, create contract, courier, ship, Coffee Republic is the name that he wants to use. We're going to be sending everything that we want to go ahead and send. It is over 20K, but that's perfectly fine. If you ever get to this screen and they don't have a place to ship to, you've messed up and made it an item exchange. We're going to put our collateral in here. The collateral is how much he's going to pay if he dies. You can go ahead and increase this amount if you're shipping abyssals or blueprints or blueprint copies, but it's really cheap. We're shipping 20K, 330 mil, 309 mils worth of stuff. And then I'm going to put a note in here, and it's just to thank the guy who runs this particular service. So we're going to go ahead and finish. This hopefully will go ahead and show up in about a day. It might show up in an hour, and you can see that we get a refund on our 10,000 ISK right there, which I don't understand why that happens, but you know, it is what it is. We're okay to close that. So we've now imported ships, and I should point out that if I want to go ahead and buy these on market, I can go ahead and pull up an heiress right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my corporation. We're going to search here. We don't have any corporations, but you do see that there is a public one right now. And this is differently fit, and you can see this is 105 mil right now. So if we go take this over to Janus, actually we'll bring it over to Multi-Limb or to Dark Horse as well. The advantage of searching from Dark Horse is that you get not just the price, the collateral 103, and the reward. This is actually below cost. So like this right now, this is below cost because it's costing more to buy and ship it than it is to buy it. So this is exactly at cost. So this is actually really, really good. But you can see that this is currently in the current system. So anyway, yeah, you have to go ahead. You can copy and paste from out of Bean Freight. And again, Bean Freight was cheaper. They sometimes take a little bit longer. Again, I've just been using Dark Horse for so long, and you kind of have to find the one you like. And I did bench test all these, and this is just a point in time. And this is how long it took. It took Interstellar Logistics 7 days, Multi-Limb a day, Eric in a day, Evola 8 hours, Bean Freight 4 hours, Dark Horse 1 hour. And then these are a little bit different now. I think Multi-Limb has raised their rates a little bit. So, and I can link this. And again, this is all off the WCGGNet website. And I think I put this under newbie shipping. So there's a whole bunch of different guides for different stuff. Okay. So we've just imported some stuff. Let's see if we can go ahead and find some profit now. We've already seen that we have some stuff for sale here. We have a bunch of stuff in the market that people can use. There is a Penny Circus is a website that we currently have inside Horde. Tell you what, I need to do something here. Give me a second. I forgot to do this. I'm going to log in as my main here. And I just don't know what it's going to show. So it's easier for me to go ahead and log this in off screen. Okay, cool. I can bring this back. So I'm now logged into Penny Circus. Realize the extraction schedule for our moon is public right now. So there are some things we can go ahead and use in here to go ahead and figure out pricing and stuff like that. I don't think I'm going to spend a ton of time on this because it just is a huge rabbit hole. But you can go ahead and look at market seeding. The advantage of market seeding is it shows you the stuff we use and then what the prices are on these things. You're competing against everybody, so it's sometimes hard to make this profit. But like if you look through some of these profit margins, some of these are pretty darn good. So like if you look at a Vigil right now, it currently costs this much so we can go ahead and we'll go ahead and do this live here. So this is saying that I have a possibility of making money on a Vigil. Realize that we do give out Vigils for free here. So it might not be the best money maker. So you can see that these are selling for 600K. You can look at the price history. It's sometimes easier to use the table. And you can see not a ton are being sold right now because we do give these out for free. There might not be a ton of market in this. If we go over to our Jita alt here, I'm going to go ahead and rejoin my fleet here. Give me a second here. Go to Fleet Finder. It looks for oxygen isotopes. Hopefully he did not create the fleet because he did not hit sit. And then we'll register this and then hand over the flying fleets. There's oxygen isotopes. Rejoin my own fleet. And we'll make ourselves boss again. Make boss. Yes. Okay, cool. We are now the boss again, and we're going to go ahead and register fleet, etc. Cool. We're good to close that now. So we'll go back to the Vigil here. The Vigil here costs this much, and the Vigil in Jita costs a little bit less. 480K for 10 right now. I don't know if that's a realistic price. However, the cost of shipping a vigil, let's go ahead and say we bought those 10 vigils. We're going to go ahead and put 10 vigil. They might not be actually worth it. The disadvantage of shipping these is they do actually cost money. So you can see that these only cost 500, but they're going to cost. So we can go ahead and do our pricing out on that. And this is just adding those two together. You use the calculator quite a lot in this stuff. You can use the spreadsheet. So you can see that this won't make money because this is going to go ahead and cost you, it's by 10. So it's going to cost you 600 mil if you ship individuals. So you have to use your brain a little bit on how much it costs to ship stuff. However, you can ship a BPC. The advantage of using a blueprint is then you just need to ship the minerals that you're missing. So if we go ahead and go to, I don't know if I have them out in the open. We'll find out shortly. I do have some stuff in build right now. I need to finish it. So I do have a vigil right here. And you notice I have it currently in this structure right here. So you can see the item cost of building, I need to go ahead and change the facility. You can change this facility by changing it here. So you can get the rough idea how much it costs. To run 30 of these, you can see right here is going to cost me 1 million ISK. So let's go ahead and finally go to our spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet started here. So we're going to go ahead and type this as a vigil build. We're going to go ahead and say build costs. This is going to be this number right here. Realize that all of these build costs have gone up recently because they changed the tax rate on these. And I will point out, being alpha, your tax rates are the hardest part about keeping your costs down because they add up quickly. So we're going to go ahead and remove some zeros here. We have the minerals that we would need associated with this. We're going to go ahead and buy all, and we're going to just buy off of the market here. You can see that this is going to go ahead and cost me this amount of money. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this out here, and we're going to put this in our spreadsheet right here. We're going to go ahead and put our prices here. So to build all of these right now, our total sum is going to be, we're going to go ahead and just add these two numbers together. Oops. And then that's D3, cool. So it's going to cost us this much money, and we're going to go ahead and take that number, divide it by 30. So it's going to cost us 396. We're going to change this to a number so it's easier to read. 396. So if we look at the cost on the original market here, you can see that they are currently selling for 538, 599. So we have a potential profit margin of 599, 500. So you can go ahead and subtract those two minus that, or sorry, it's D13 minus D12. And then it is actually times 1.06, I think, for me, something like that. So I'm making a profit margin of 178K. Now, because there isn't a huge amount of volume here, there's not likely to get this. And you can see that the price has been trending downwards a little bit recently on the ship specifically. I think someone just relisted some. So, and if you ever have someone buying yourself out, realize you can very easily go ahead and just undercut them again and just keep undercutting. You just keep on making profit off these guys if they're in mass buyouts. So this is an example of how we can go ahead and save some money if we're going to build a bunch of ships here. Does that make sense? It'd be nice to have a positive reinforcement here. So, Charum, I don't know if you can hear me or see my screen. So, okay. So let's go back to one of the other things. Now, the thing is that the things that are in the seeding thing, these are pretty well watched. But it's the things that are not well watched that you can keep an eye out for. Let's go ahead and go to market orders. So I have these two items right here. This is small signal disruption amplifier. If there's zero on market or someone buys me out, they might be someone messing with the market here. And realize you can always click the find group here to look for other things in this market. I haven't looked at this at all. I don't know if there's profit to be made here, but I can very easily go ahead and I have a rough idea how much it costs for these things. If you see recent things in here, that's usually a good sign that people are being competitive in it. This one is way out of rack right here. See this right here? Now, granted, the price history is very low, but almost no one is doing this one. But we can go ahead and import this very easily. So we're going to go ahead and go over to Dark Horse. We're going to go ahead and put in 100, and we're going to paste this in here. This would cost me $290. Oh man, these might actually be somewhat expensive. Let's go ahead and figure out the profit margin on these. We're going to go back over to our spreadsheet. Give me a second here. I'm doing everything in a too small of a window. I normally use like a bunch of windows for this. We're going to look at 100 of these things right here. The current cost is 800K. The shipping costs, which we'll pull out of here, Dark Horse, we're going to go ahead and pull. It's going to be that much. It's going to only cost us this. We're going to go ahead and spend 290. 292000. Just default to this. Come on. There you go. Okay, so it's going to cost me that much, and it's going to cost me that much money to go ahead and import this. So we go ahead and do this times 100 minus that minus that. So I can go ahead and make 50 mil off this if these things sell. If he buys me out, okay? There's a chance he won't buy me out. So we need to figure out a fair price for these two things. And you can see that right now we already have kind of an idea. This is 100 of them. So if I set these at 300, I'm going to go ahead and change this a little bit. So we're going to set this to 300. Set to 350. And set this to 400. And we can go ahead and figure out our costs associated with it. Our import costs are going to be the same regardless. So I can go ahead and make a mil if I go ahead and really undercut him. I'm going to send a couple of these at a really low price to encourage him to undercut me. I'm going to make 800K on it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and set another group at 3,500. And I encourage him to undercut me again. So I'm going to set another group in there. And then I'll probably set one at 450. Again, I'm just trying to encourage him to undercut me because he says, oh, well, I can continue to make profit here. And then I'm going to make a bunch of money there. So we'll go ahead and actually do that right now. We're going to go ahead and import this thing. Give me a second here. We're going to buy this right here. Let me put it to here. We're going to buy these remotely in Jita, and you can see that I'm going to have to buy these kind of piecemeal because I'm not in Jita. This is costing me money, extra money here. So I can go ahead and do the math afterwards and figure out how much I actually spent. It's a good idea to track actually how much you do spend. And I'm just saving myself minor amounts of money by just not doing a multi-buy right now. And then I can go ahead and go to here as a transactions, market transactions. Cool. And I have bought 65 so far, so I need 35 more. Let's go ahead and see if I do the math correctly here. I'm going to open up the personal assets window just to show you how that works. If we look in Jita right now, we have 88, so we need 12 more. Cool. We have now bought those. And realize because I did instant buy, I don't actually pay taxes on them. So because I have opened this thing, I need to do a session change to have them all appear now, which I will do. The easiest way is just to undock. I know undocking doesn't make sense for trading alts, but you know, it's a way to go ahead, you end up having to do. So we're going to go ahead and redock as well. We note that we need to have asset window closed. Otherwise it will just stay open and won't be updated. This is the way to go ahead and force it to update. It now has been updated. So we're going to go ahead and actually follow through with this Dark Horse model. So we're going to go ahead and go to Dark Horse. We've already input this. We know where we're going to go ahead and ship it to. Because I'm already in Horde, I can go ahead and do create contract. We're going to go ahead and we can do this remotely as well. We're going to go ahead and copy Coffee Republic here. We're going to go ahead and say I will pay. Actually, you notice that I did this. I didn't do the contract, so I have to go all the way back, go to courier. It sometimes will lose your place and you have to reselect the stuff. So you have to, you see it lost my place. You just have to re-go to Jita and then there you go. Cool. We're going to go ahead and set the collateral to here. That's fine. I think, did it have still personal? We'll check it at the end. It's a good idea to read everything. We're going to ship it to here, MJ5. Set our reward properly. If you set your reward improperly, the shipping corp will just reject it. And we're going to say shipping for Pismatir. We're going to confirm it's Coffee Republic, Jita MJ5, and it's 500 M3. So let's go ahead and do our full math on how much we actually just cost ourselves. If we had done buy orders, we could have saved some money, but with not a ton. We're going to go back to our market transactions here. You might have to select off of here and select back to have it update. We're going to copy all of this stuff into our spreadsheet. There are tools like ISK per hour that can help you with this stuff. So here's our total right here. So we're going to go ahead and realize that they put the ISK after this. So you sometimes have to go ahead and insert like a value thing. So we're going to go ahead and do left. This is where actual spreadsheets make it easier. We're going to go ahead and say find a string, and this is going to be E28, and then we're starting at 1, and then we're going to make sure this is a value. So this is a quick math thing that I did to go ahead and add all these together, and then we're going to go ahead and do a sum of these things, and it's 29,348. So we can put our actual in there. So we can realize it's negative as well. So we can put our actual of how much we spent here. Oops. You can, and realize that if you can go ahead and paste as value, right click, you can do paste as value only. We're going to switch this around, and then we'll put our actual, how much we actually spent here. So this is our potential profit margin right here once those things arrive. And again, we're going to go ahead and I'm most likely going to do 20 on these. So I'm going to go ahead and change these a little bit. So we're going to do 20 at this. Oops. This is going to be divided by 100. 20. I could do this. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and make my life easier here. Give me a second here. Insert one above. And this is 100. And then this is going to be 20. And this is going to be 20. I'm going to do 40 at this one. And then I have 20 left. So we're going to go ahead and do the math associated with this. So the actual cost of this was this number. 24 divided by 100, and we're going to go ahead and put the multiply by E23, and we're hopefully going to go ahead and so that's the actual cost times E23. Cool. Okay, cool. That should work. There is one other thing I need to do here, is that because one is fixed, I'm going to go ahead and set that as there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the math on all of these now. This is missing something. Times 100. Oh, I didn't copy this one. So our total profit here should be doing this if he buys this out and all of these things sell. Just realized I didn't do the equal, that's why. And this is going to be E26 through H26. There. So we should make 9 mil off of this transaction. We probably spent more time like messing with this. Once you get that kind of a spreadsheet built, though, it makes it much easier to kind of go ahead and do these assessments. So we'll see when our shipment actually shows up. But I would encourage everybody that's watching or listening to go ahead and make a contract right now. And I will point out that I have a bunch of stuff in MJ5 as well that I need to go ahead and ship back here. This is kind of just the basics, and it's just scaling it up. It's just doing a bunch of these over and over again, building some spreadsheets. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to ship to Jita as well. The easiest way to do this is there's something called a station container. In this case, I'm using a station audit container, a station log container. These are not that expensive. So if we go ahead and do view market details, they're selling for $329, but they're actually much easier to build than that. Like they're much cheaper to, and I do give out a free BPC pack. You just have to ask me in Newbeans. But like if I look at the station waste station station container right here, and I go to facilities and change it to small, medium here. Go ahead and build this. Cool. You can see that the cost to build this by all is 16K. It's just because you have to actually move it with a hauler. So if you can very easily go ahead and move all of your current stuff. Realize I have a few too much stuff to put into a container. So I'm actually using, you can also actually contract it to an alt. So what you can do is you can go ahead and do create contract. I can't actually do it from here because it's inside the loot container. So give me a second here. So you can go ahead and we're not going to contract these three. We're going to go ahead and create contract. If you do ships, realize it'll move the ammo into your cargo hold of the ship. So it's not great to do there. And we're just going to leave that hanging out for a minute. We're going to go ahead and take everything that's in this loot container. We're going to drag it into the item hanger. The reason why you have to do that is because you need to go ahead and repackage it and repair it before you ship it back to Empire. So we're going to go ahead and then we're going to repair, get repair quote. It costs us nothing out here. It costs something in Empire, so which is a good idea. And then we're going to go ahead and repackage. We have to repackage it anyway to sell it. That changes an item from standard to new in box. And we're going to go ahead and stack all these items. I'm then going to go through and find items that I know I'm going to use here in MJ5. I could sell all this stuff in MJ5. Like if I sell this barrage right here, I could sell it. I don't want to sell it for this price though. So I'd have to make a market order, and I only have a limited number of market orders. And if it sells here, it might not sell. I know it will sell in Jita. I'm going to save myself some void. I'm going to save myself this. If anybody sees anything in here they want, let me know, and I'm happy to just sell it to you for whatever Jita split is right now. I definitely use all my warp disruptor bubbles. I definitely use all of that. I'm going to save the paste. I always end up with like too much paste. I'll save the EMP. I'll save that. I've been using these recently, so I'm going to save these. This takes a little bit of doing to go ahead and go through everything. Because I like to save a whole bunch of crap. I normally would and I do want to save these guys. These might, okay, cool, that did work. These filaments I'll save. I definitely will use those at some point. All of this stuff, I don't, SB5 I might use. So this is the part that takes like the longest part for me, is just sorting through what I may or may not use. And you have to be honest with yourself of what you'll use. Like I know I will use this covert ops cloak. I will use this prototype cloak. I will not use this. I definitely will not. This is worth quite a bit of money right here. You can see the estimated value of stuff down here. This is not end all be all right here. I'm going to save that for reasons. Damage controls, I use those. I end up with too many of them, so I have to ship them every so often. And then bomb launcher I'll save. Defender launcher I'll save. And then the rest of this stuff, I think I won't save that. Realize I am shipping some stuff that is kind of pointless to ship. Like this thing is probably more useful out here. It will sell for almost nothing in Jita. And then the 5MN quads I've been using the crap out of. So I'm going to go ahead and definitely send all those. And then I need a 50MN, a couple of 50MN compacts, and then expanded probe launchers. I'll save some of those. This is if you remember, this is the thing I've been looking into, or this, no, that's a different rig. Rigs I'm not going to ship. There's a reason why I had this out here. I don't remember what it is. And then I'm using those. I need a couple of these. I don't need all of those. And then everything else, I think I can ship. I use warp scramblers. And again, I'm doing this a little bit live, so you guys are seeing a little bit how sausage is made, and I apologize. And again, if you have questions, feel free to stop me and ask questions. Okay, and then I'm not going to ship the big things. Like, I'm not going to shoot cap boosters. They're just too big. Realize this is assembled ammo, so I can definitely ship it if it's unassembled. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll change this to details, and then start to sort around to see what I might want to keep out here because it's too big. Like, I have a lot of rage. I do use some of that with bombers. I use some warrior 2s, so I'm going to save these warriors. I can look over here what I've contracted myself to see how many I have right now. Like, I'm sure I have a bunch of warriors. I have 22 already, but I do go through a lot of them, so I'm going to hang on to them for now. But like the rest of the stuff, this is all good money. And then I can look at by lowest price. Like, this is crap, so I'm gonna throw it in the crap bucket. I have a crap bucket here. I have like a liquid ozone. I'm gonna dump that. I don't want to ship that. Defender missiles, these are too cheap. They're just gonna keep those. And then I have some other stuff that's a little too cheap, but I'm gonna ship it anyway. It's just too easy, not just to get rid out of my site. And then it just collects all in Jita. Okay, cool. We'll go back to icons here. This is I prefer to have it. We're then going to go ahead and figure out how much is this going to cost. Oh, I forgot to check one thing. I want to see if I have abyssals. So I'm going to go to details here, and I'm going to sort by quantity. This shows you assembled things, and I don't have any abyssals here, so I don't have to do anything special there. So, okay, cool. We will now ship this to Jita. This is only 20 cents. This is worth 700K or 700 mil. It is only 2.7K. We're going to go back over to here. We're going to dump it to our preferred shipper. We're going to change this order. Most of these are symmetrical, so it hasn't actually a problem here. Some of the shippers are asymmetrical. We're going to appraise. It's going to cost us $8 million to move 700 mil worth of stuff. I could spend an hour moving this stuff to Jita myself. This is dealable. I mean, this is movable, but I'm not going to bother. So I'm going to go ahead and create Coffee Republic. Courier. All the stuff we're going to ship to Jita. We're going to put our reward is 8 mil. Don't flip these around, by the way. It should warn you, but just in case. We're going to go ahead and ship this, and then all of this is not my problem. It's my Jita alt's problem. It's going to show up on Jita under me, so I will have to go ahead and deal with that. But we can then go ahead and recover all of our stuff by going to contracts, my contracts, and we can see our issued by. You see this oxygen isotope ones. We're going to go ahead and delete the contract, and everything is going to return back into our hangar. It's an easy way to do it. I don't recommend doing this. I recommend just getting like a couple different things, and I have the access to like hangars here, corporate hangars out here. So I could have used like this hangar to go ahead and dump everything into. And you can see this holds 1 million M3. That's enough to go ahead and throw like a ship into it. So if I should throw like a scythe into here, I do have a locking mechanism on this one. So anyway, are there any questions on that? So I have some stuff that's going to be coming in here. I have some stuff right now. I can go through the stuff that I kept now. Because I know I want to keep all this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and dump this into my item hanger here. And I am going to go ahead and realize that you select all, you can hit control and unclick your cans because you don't want to repackage those cans. And we're going to go ahead and get repair quote. And we're also going to repackage. And by the way, when I'm usually cleaning this up, I usually then repair all my ships too. You just hit control A, get repair quote, and it'll fix all your ships. I recommend doing that every so often so you don't forget. And now my loot hanger is empty. Realize that I do have loot under this alt right here. Like I had a whole bunch of stuff. So if I look in MJ5 right now, I have a whole, this is my super character. So I did have some stuff I was going to ship there, but it's not that big a deal. So are there any questions on this? We're going to go ahead and restack everything as well. By the way, there is a hard limit of 1,000 items, which is why my Jita alt has that limitation. So let's go ahead and go through this list and see if there's anything we can sell right now. There might have been some big things here that I decided to keep that are valuable. So you see that I have a bunch of mobile cyno inhibs. I might use those. I do have a couple of these. I'm going to keep those. You see this capital remote armor repair? we're going to go ahead and view details on this thing. You can see that there's not a lot being sold. I can go ahead and figure out, is it better for me to ship it to JITA? And I can go ahead and do this math just using this tool right here. It's worth 168 mil there, and plus cost 2 million to ship. They're selling for 178 here. I think I would just sell it here. You see this thing right here. You can see that this is not going to sell. All skins, oh Jesus. So all skins basically will go ahead and show up in JITA, and you can remotely inject those as well. So in this case, I can also just try to activate the skin, and then it's attached to me. I have 3 Incosis links. If I can find something that I have too many of and I can sell right now. So I have a lot of these. I could go ahead and sell these. So we can go ahead and view. Again, we want to compare JITA prices and these prices to make sure we're not out of whack. So you see, it should sell for, and realize that it doesn't list the individual price here. So you sometimes have to go ahead and reappraise it. So these are 4.6 mil there. We're selling for a lot more here. So all we're going to do is we're going to match the price. If it's not crazy pants, we're going to match the price. The easiest way is just to type the number 5396000, and then you hit the down arrow or scroll wheel. This will undercut the current price by a certain amount. I'm only going to sell 19 of these. I'm going to keep 5 for myself. So I have 100 mil right here as long as these sell. And realize that the market history on these things, they move pretty well. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to make my money. It's going to cost me 2 million taxes associated with doing that. We can go over to our spreadsheet if we wanted to and track that transaction as well. And again, we just go ahead and go to our wallet here. We go to transactions here. We're going to capture these in 2 different places here. So we have 2 different costs associated with that. We have this cost right here. I'm going to use that same math right here to go ahead and pull that number out. Let's see if it pulled it from the right place. This is going to be C. And I can paste this value. Did I do the wrong one? Oh, yeah, that's why. This is C40. There we go. So this is the total cost. It cost me 2 million associated with it. And then the possible value can be seen on your market orders. You can see right here, but you can just go ahead and copy this out as well. It's very easy to copy these things out. So we're going to go ahead and say, here's our positive here. So our net gain on this should be in the, oh, I think I messed something up here. Oh, times 19. So I'll move this thing to here. Oops. And again, because they don't make this easy, you know, you have to actually do some finagling to make this. So our total profit, it should be, because I just looted these, they are just kind of profit for me. And let's change this to an actual number. This is 100 mil that we should make on this, minus all the taxes. So if I had shipped it, I won't think I would have made as much. And I realize that I am giving up money by shipping things. The advantage of in JITA, I know it will sell. So if you look right here, the value on 19 of these, so we'll go ahead and change this to 19. And we'll actually, I think I have a bunch in JITA, so you can see that this is where the collateral been. I probably would have made that much money, and then I would have had the taxes might have been higher here. So I'll go ahead and put these numbers in here, and then I have the shipping costs associated with it. Here's our shipping. So this is going to be a minus. And I think that I am paying, I don't know my current tax rate. I should know this. We'll figure out how to figure that out. I am Omega, so I do have accounting 5. So I'm going to go ahead and log in my alt. And then I just need to list something, and it gives me a rough price of what my tax rate is. And I do want to keep track of the differences here because there's 2 different sets of taxes associated with listing something. Let's go ahead and go find the M shield extender. There you go. So we're looking for, I think it was these. So I only have 12. I thought I had more, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this item. I'm only going to sell 1, and I'm going to set it to a round number. This makes it easier for me to do math associated with it. And my current track rate, my broker rate is 1.124. So this is going to be, broker rate is this times 0.124. So it's going to cost me 1 mil on broker fees, and then it's going to cost me 3.6 on the sales tax. So it's that same math. And I will point out that, and these are minuses because they are, oops, they are costs associated with it. So let's figure out how much money I would have made if I had shipped these to JITA and sold them to JITA. And this is going to be the sum here. So I would have made 82 mil. But, you know, I don't have to deal with it in JITA, and I know they'll sell in JITA. So I saved myself 18 mil selling them in MJ5, or I made 18 mil. So I realize I can also reverse the streams here. I can go ahead and buy these and then ship them in. And realize this is selling them for the buy orders. And you can go ahead and look at the market rate associated with these and say, is it worth selling to the sell orders? These are the sell orders right here. These are the buy orders. If I sell the sell orders, you don't pay as much tax. So if I go ahead and change this to immediate, you see that my broker fee drops off. It's only 1% though, so it has to be within 1% of each other. Sometimes it's hard to find some of those. I might be able to find some in here, Isogen specifically. No, those are beyond 1%. These can be really close. So this is far away, so I'd have to actually move those things. Some of these can be pretty close. Yeah, those aren't that far apart. So, and it's just doing math. I know math is painful. You can use the programs like IS per hour. IS per hour it makes it easier to go ahead and track some of these things. There are a bunch of training programs that are installable. There's also something, Fuzzworks has a bunch of different details in here, and they can go ahead and help you kind of help you figure things out. I can't go through all these because there's so many different things, but there's just a ton of things associated with figuring out shipping lists, mass calculations, and stuff like that. So if you're really going to make money, this is where you start to import. You tend to like, say you want to buy a whole bunch of trit. What you end up doing is you buy a whole bunch of compressed Veldspar right here. So if you look at right here, if I go ahead and buy some Veldspar here, let's go ahead and say I buy 1,000 compressed Veldspar. It costs me 13K. Let's give me how much this gives me. Give me a second here. I need this spreadsheet right here. So we're going to look at compressed Veldspar. The easiest way to do this is to copy it. Realize you can copy it with Control-C at almost everything. So let's go ahead and say buy some compressed Veldspar. We're going to buy 1,000 of it. Oops. It's going to cost me, I just had this open, I just covered it up. It's going to cost me, I did 13K. Realize that this is immediate, there's no taxes on this. If I do a buy order for 1,000, so let's go ahead and do a place a buy order of 1,000. It would cost me more right now because of the taxes associated. There's a broker fee of 1.7. And it does add up, and realize that's for setting it for just above, because these are within 1% of each other. So it actually costs me more. So let's actually make this 100,000. So make this to 100,000. Again, why they don't put commas in here is so annoying. Oops. I'm going to change these all to, here, there's an easier way for me to do this. Change everything to a number and remove the, there you go. And we're going to add some zeros to these two. So we're going to go ahead and say our costs right now are going to be 1308. So our costs are this times this. There's no tax rate because I'm doing an immediate buy. If I go ahead and do the industry on these, you can see how much Veld's titanium I'm going to get, but it depends on where you're recycling it. So if you reprocess this here, I don't actually have enough, so I'm going to buy another 81. I'm just going to buy 81. So I'm going to use this terrible, here, give me a second here. I need to stack. You need to have this stack, otherwise it doesn't work. Give me a second here. Compressed Veldspar. I'm using compressed dense, I should say. So if I reprocess thing, you can see my terrible refine rate is 246 trit. So I can buy, I'm going to end up with 100,000. I'm going to end up with 100,000. It's going to be 10,000 times 246. This is how much I'm going to end up, how much trit I'm going to end up with. I'm going to end up with that much trit. And if I was going to buy that much tritanium. Oh, by the way, the size of this thing, I can put the M3. This is the, we're going to move this over here. This is going to be M3. I didn't label my columns. Amount, cost per, and then the cost per trit right now. And this is for this much trit. The cost per unit is 4.24. I need to increase the number of things. And this is in JITA costs. This is MJ5 costs. Let's go ahead and pull that number as well. Did someone give me the price for trit in MJ5 right now? So this is going to be times this. So you can see right now that I think I got some bad math here. This might be, is it 10,000? Is it, or 1,000? It's 1,000. So you can see that I lose some money here if I buy compressed Veldspar, but the size of this is very small. So this is 0.01, I think. So it's only 1,000 M3. This is 0.1, I think, 2. Let me confirm that I did that math right. This 100 is 0.01, so it is 0.01. And then this is 0.012, I think. I might have done some bad math here. This is the problem, is it's hard, it's easy to go ahead and remove 2 zeros. Here, let's go ahead and do this. C2 times divide by 100. I have to put this up front. That is not a great compression ratio, I guess. I always thought that was. I thought that was better. Maybe I'm thinking of sensor boosters. Sensor boosters are like a very traditional way to go ahead and compress. There's a whole bunch of different compression things here. Give me a second here. Sensor booster. Variation industry. Yeah, this is 50K. So that should be 50 M3 worth of trit. So Eve or compression. Shipping. Sorry, I need to actually find how this is. I haven't actually done this in a while. So that might have, this is just Kismet here fucking up, so. Calculator. Here you go. Of course, it's on Fuzzworks. So if we need to go ahead and get 100,000 of this, we're going to do ores. It's saying compressed Veldspar. 4.26. So it's not quite worth it. It's easier just to buy it. It's cheaper just to buy it there. I appreciate you looking that up for me. Thank you. I'm not sure where I'm messing this up though. Actual output compressed. And it has my refine rate. I'm missing some basic math, and I don't want to necessarily buy this and So if you look at the size of this thing right here is 0.0. Oh, I think I figured it out. Yeah, my attribute's off. 0.001. There, off by a factor of 1,000. 10. So basically this amount of trit right here is 100 M3, and then the amount volume in trit is 2.6. So you have to basically do this math associated with it. So like isogen could be another one right now that could be worthwhile. Let's go ahead and figure out the isogen one. So we want to go ahead and ship in 1,000 isogen. Actually, let's pull in an actual error. Let's go ahead and bring in the vigil. So we open up a vigil. We're going to use and this is the ME0, so it's not the ideal. So we're going to go ahead and bring in 100 of these basically. And then we're going to go 3, 3, 3. And then we're going to bring in 100, so we're going to add zeros there. So this is, if I want to go ahead and bring 100 vigils, the cost on this would be prohibitively expensive for shipping. You can see it actually even errors out. I think if I do 10, I think that should work. Will 50 work? Maybe. Nope, that's too much. 25. Oops. So this will be 4 times as much. So it would cost me 4 times this, so 88 mil to ship in 100 vigils. Okay, 88 mil. We already showed that that's a loss leader. However, to ship in all of this stuff right here is very cheap. I'm gonna go back to Dark Horse. This would cost me 307K to go ahead and ship in all the parts for a vigils. Pretty darn cheap. I don't know if I need to, I can explain better here. So if I go ahead and bought this stuff right here, so let's go ahead and do a buy order right now. Multi-buy. Import. So it would cost me this much money. Let's put it, so this is our secondary, this is our second, we're gonna back up to our vigil here. So here is our original cost that we had associated with it. We're gonna go ahead and list this, copy order. This is going to give me the compression ratio to go ahead and pull this out. Realize that my compression ratios might be a little different for my character. I do need to tune these. So I might have to like carefully check my math here. Realize it's mostly the Nesis because it's the isogen, I think, that adds up here. We can go ahead and figure out the costs associated with this. This is 42 mil. So this is going to be, and then we're going to add in the Dark Horse costs, the shipping costs. Plus this equal that times 100 divided by 100. So our costs are now 488,305 by compressing things. Now realize that the costs of minerals in MJ5 right now are pretty good. We would still make money off this as compared to what they're actually selling for here, but not as much. It's just because the cost of trit right now is so good right there. So anyway, so I showed you how to lose money very easily. Realize that the way you end up losing money is actually just not keeping track of stuff. It's the not keeping track of stuff that goes ahead and really gets you. Or you go ahead and assume that Jita is always going to be the better value. And the only reason I ship to Jita is just because it's easier for me. Because I know it'll sell there. So, are there any questions about anything I went through? I think I've talked enough at this point. I've went on for an hour and 5 minutes on this stuff and covered different parts of it. I don't know if my contracts have shown up yet. They have not, but sometimes they do. So that's not great. Any questions? Hopefully you've learned something on shipping stuff. Hopefully you can go ahead and make some money yourself. I encourage you, everyone, to go ahead and do the math associated with importing yourself stuff. I will point out that the easiest way to make money in MJ, I think I've kind of buried the lead here, is just to buy ship it in yourself. So if we look at a FairX Navy issue right now, for instance, whoops, FairX Navy issue. These contracts are incredibly valuable. So let's go ahead and take a F&I right here. This one actually might not, this one might not be too bad because who's doing it. If we paste this into here, we need to flip the streams here. This costs more to ship it in. So this one is actually pretty decent. Let's go ahead and look for a less likely one. Sentinel maybe? Nope, no one has a Sentinel. Saber? Saber definitely will be. So this guy is bringing in for 779 mil. That's still more money. These are cheaper because of the costs of these have gone up. This is actually cheaper. So because the cost of the Saber has gone way, way, way up. And he hasn't adjusted his price. So if you want to make a bunch of money, buy him out on all the Sabers. If you get caught market manipulation inside a Horde, it is bad for you. The problem is all T2 ships basically just went up. Let's see if we have an Osprey Navy issue. 100 mil. This one you can kind of make some money, but the idea is what you do is you take the cost of the value, you add this, and then you add like 15%. That's usually a fair price. You're saving someone to doing work. That's all it is. But like, let's see if there's a rattlesnake on contract. Rattlesnakes are very big. So we'll go ahead, and this right here is actually probably cheaper in here because it's got the rigs attached to it. But the shipping costs were the reason why it would be cheaper here. Stop! My dog is freaking out because I'm talking. Anyway. Yeah, and I will point out that it's easy to make a math mistake and lose a 2 bill. If you put an extra 0 on this stuff, that's where you tend to lose money. And we can recover some part of that. So let's go ahead and say you're going to go ahead and do a 3-month thing here. And you're like, oh, I'm going to sell this for about what it costs here. So we'll go ahead and, you know, set our value 76 or like that. And then you go ahead and put an extra 2 zeros here. You're now going to have a sales bill of 2 billion ISK. And you're going to try to sell these for 60 billion ISK. And because I have so much money on my main, I could accidentally do this. If I hit submit right now, I'd lose 3 billion ISK. So the key is to count your zeros carefully. It's okay to go ahead and hover over it. It says the number in a more normalized way. And realize that these will sell better out here than they will in Empire, so that's why I tend to keep them out here. So, and you just kind of have a feel of what's going to sell out here and what won't. So, and again, use the different parts of what's it called, Penny Circus, to go ahead and look through some of these different things. And there are other sections in here. I don't want to go through all of them because I don't want to reveal too much here because there's other things in here. So, and again, if you want to just go mining, they also have the moon schedule here too. So you can go see when there's juicy R64 is going out. Let's see when the next R64 is being popped. A day. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you next time.